What is it, Michael?
Do you hear that?
Look, Michael, something's moving around in those bushes over there.
Oh, it's probably just a stray cat or something. Nothing to worry about.
No, look, Michael, it's rising up from the bushes. It's not a stray cat, it's...
Susan! Get back, you horrid beast! Get back! It's too powerful.
To whom it may concern. I write this letter to detail the recent murders that have spread across the surrounding area. Due to the lack of coverage and the negligent investigations, I felt that this was only necessary. I feel as though my knowledge of these cases would greatly benefit those who were appointed in solving these seemingly unrelated cases, and hopefully bringing to light some details that may have been overlooked. Here are all the events and how they happened. Easton, Pennsylvania, October 15th. Charles Barnes, age 61. This was the first of the murders. The victim, Charles Barnes, had just arrived back at his home from working overtime at his day job. Living alone, Barnes made himself dinner, then proceeded to do some reading in his living room with his windows ajar. This is how the assailant entered the house, but it wasn't until Barnes left the room to make himself a cup of tea. After he leaves the living room, that is when the suspect enters the house and waits for Barnes to return, and when he does, that's when they make their attack. A struggle ensues between them, and the assailant grabs a decoration, a metal lantern, from the mantel above the fireplace and uses it to strike Barnes to subdue him. The blunt force knocks Barnes to the floor, and the suspect finishes with a knife and leaves Barnes there. They then leave back out the window in which they entered from. Charles Barnes was discovered dead in his home 3 days later. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, December 9th. James Dowers, age 43. The next murder occurs almost 2 months after the first. This time, the suspect knows what he likes and chooses his next victim, James Dowers. Like Barnes, Dowers lives alone in his home, which makes it easier for the killer to get in unnoticed. Dowers took nightly walks around his neighborhood, which gave the suspect the perfect opportunity to stalk and plan their attack. Once Dowers was out of the house, this is when the assailant slipped in using the front door, which Dowers kept unlocked. Shortly after, Dowers would arrive back home and go straight to the bathroom to take a shower. Patiently, the suspect waited for Dowers to finish his shower, then made an advance toward the victim, assaulting him in the bathroom. Like the first murder, Dowers struggled, and the assailant subdued him, this time using the soap dispenser from atop the sink. Dowers succumbs to the trauma and is left on the floor while the suspect finishes with the knife and leaves out the front door. James Dowers was discovered on his bathroom floor 3 days later. Allentown, Pennsylvania, April 27th. Barbara Roberts, age 36. The following murder takes place more than 4 months after the last. After taking a brief hiatus, the suspect settles on the next victim, this time a woman, Barbara Roberts. Finding it difficult to find someone who lives alone, like the previous murders, the suspect sets their sights on Roberts, a younger victim who would be an easy target. Though still out of the ordinary for the assailant. Feeling uncomfortable, the killer waits until Roberts goes to sleep until they make their entrance, which they accomplish by picking the lock on the back door of the house. Once inside, the killer makes their way into the bedroom to make an attack, but instead wakes Roberts up. Scared and startled, Roberts tries to get up and run out of the room, but not before the suspect once again uses a blunt object to stop her, this time an empty vase. After Roberts is subdued, the killer uses their knife to finish, and like the others, leaves the same way they came in. Barbara Roberts was found that same night after a neighbor called the authorities. Emmaus, Pennsylvania, May 21st. Joseph Fletcher, age 58. The most recent murder would occur not even a month after the last. The suspect, feeling dissatisfied with killing Roberts, needed to find a victim that they were comfortable with. Joseph Fletcher would be that victim. Living alone, like the others, Fletcher would spend most of his time in his basement, reading and sorting through old boxes. This gave the killer a chance to sneak in while Fletcher was busy in the basement looking through a box labeled Army. The suspect made their entrance through an open window and waited till Fletcher was fully occupied while putting on his old army uniform. Quickly attacking from behind, the assailant would reach for Fletcher's helmet and use it to suppress him, knocking him to the floor. The killer once again finished the job with their knife and fled the scene. Joseph Fletcher was found dead in his basement 8 days later. A question comes to mind while looking through the details of all these cases, and that is this the end? And I can tell you with my utmost confidence that it is certainly not. I have been returning to my crime scenes, and I can tell you that you are not doing what is necessary to solve the puzzle. You see, you might not have been competent enough to put the pieces together, as I have laid out for you here. Unrelated murders. What foolishness it must have taken to lead to that conclusion. The police are not focused on what's important. They're probably sitting in their patrol cars worried about their diet, saying, "Oh wait, we've got to stop for cheesecake and donuts." Pathetic. So maybe now, with the details laid out for you, you will be able to appreciate my genius for what it is, and not just dismiss it as a series of unrelated murders. Sincerely, your killer.
And was it hard to defeat such a vicious monster, Dr. Williams?
Oh no, Mary, not at all. You see, the underdeveloped primitive mind of the beast was no match for the advanced superior intellect of the human brain.
Oh, Doctor, I hope a tragedy like this won't ever strike our little town again.
Oh, Mary, you have nothing to worry about. The monster is dead, and everyone is safe now.